Custom Coasters International, or CCI, only had a 10-year run from 1992 to 2002, but it was one heck of a decade. They became the go-to wooden coaster manufacturer once the DIN Corporation folded, and before GCI really took off, and they built 34 coasters in North America and Europe. 7 of these coasters are no longer in operation, and one is basically a dark ride and not a coaster, so that leaves us with 26 that we'll look at today. These are the coasters of CCI, by the numbers. Before we start, let's look at the coasters that are no longer with us. 3 of them closed because their park shut down, including the Villain at Geauga Lake, Megazeph at Six Flags New Orleans, and Hurricane at Myrtle Beach Pavilion. 2 were renovated by RMC. Medusa at Six Flags Mexico became Medusa Steel Coaster, and one side of Twisted Twins at Kentucky Kingdom became Storm Chaser. Cannonball Run at Waterville in Alabama closed after 24 seasons in 2018, and Cheetah at Wild Adventures is still standing, but the park confirmed it won't reopen as of 2020. The one coaster that is operating, but I chose to leave off the list, is the Underground at Adventureland. This is mostly a dark ride, with 131 seconds of ride time, but it's pretty slow, and it's a lot different from the other coasters on the list. Let's take a look at what we have and rank them by the prime ride time. But first, if you're new to this series, prime ride time starts when the train starts picking up speed off the lift, all the way until it hits the final brakes. Prime track length omits the lift hill, station, and brakes, so the number you see on the screen will not be the same as the one you'll find on Roller Coaster Database. In 26th place with 31 seconds is Cyclops at Mount Olympus. This was the park's first ever coaster, and they would go back to CCI twice more in the next 2 years for other short wooden coasters. It's not really short in height. Its biggest drop is 75 feet, tied for 18th, and it's all the way up at 5th in speed at 58 miles per hour. It checks in with less than 1,500 feet of prime ride track, down at 21st place. So with that good speed and short track length, it's no surprise that it's up at 11th in pacing, with 47.6 feet per second. In 25th place with 33 seconds is Zeus at Mount Olympus. We're right back here again, this being the newest of the 3 CCIs at Mount Olympus. This one with a drop 10 feet taller than Cyclops, tied for 10th, and is tied for 2nd place in speed, clocking in at 60 miles per hour. Its track length isn't great, checking in at 15th place, but this thing really powers through its short course, topping the list in pacing at over 67 feet per second. More than 6 feet per second clear the rest of the field. In 24th place with 34 seconds is Tomahawk at Port Aventura. CCI didn't build too many family coasters, but this was one of them. It's also 24th in height and speed, 25th in length, and 23rd in pacing. This is located right next to another CCI that opened on the same day in 1997, so it seems like they wanted a junior version of their bigger model for the kids. In 23rd place with 35 seconds is Pegasus at Mount Olympus. This is the last time we're going to Mount Olympus, and here's another one that was made for younger riders. It's 23rd in height and 22nd in speed, as well as 24th in length, but it's up at number 21 in pacing. And we know it has a lot of steam coming back into the station. It takes that sharp right turn with a vengeance. In 22nd place with 40 seconds is Raven at Holiday World. It may be a shorter ride, but its layout won 4 Golden Ticket Awards for Best Wooden Coaster. It's tied for 10th in height, tied for 16th in speed. It also ranks 16th in length, but the most telling stat is that 3rd place finish in pacing. You can really feel it tearing through its course. It never lets up until it twists into the final brakes. Tied for 19th place, we have 3 coasters. Zach Zoomer at Michigan's Adventure, Kingdom Coaster at Dutch Wonderland, and Outlaw at Adventureland. Of these 3, 2 of them are geared for a family audience. That's Zach Zoomer and Kingdom Coaster. Zach Zoomer is second to last in height, speed, and pacing, and it ranks dead last in length, with just over 1,000 feet of prime ride track. Kingdom Coaster is slightly better in these categories, tied for 21st in height, tied for 22nd in speed, and also 22nd in length. Both of these family Woodies are low on the pacing list, with Kingdom Coaster 24th and Zach Zoomer 25th. But Kingdom Coaster is a good 9 feet per second faster. Outlaw is kind of the odd coaster of the bunch, considered an adult coaster, but it's still not that big. 20th in height and tied for 16th in speed, as well as 18th in length. But its pacing number is the outlier, all the way up at 6th place, with 52.3 feet per second. For those of you who have never been to Adventureland, but have been to Holiday World, its pacing is nearly identical to the Legend. In 18th place with 46 seconds is Hoosier Hurricane at Indiana Beach. This one is kind of scattered all over the middle of the rankings. 17th in height, 12th in speed, 14th in length, but all the way up at 8th in pacing. Of the 3 CCIs at Indiana Beach, this has far and away the best pacing, with the others falling in the bottom 5. And speaking of Indiana Beach, in 17th place at 47 seconds is Cornball Express at Indiana Beach. This may be seen as the star of its park, and that proves its layout is everything. Its stats are all pretty weak. 21st in height and speed, 20th in length, 22nd in pacing. But when you crest those airtime hills around that square layout, with nothing but a buzz bar holding you in, all the stats go out the window as you fly out of your seat. In 16th place with 48 seconds is Timber Terror at Silverwood. This airtime machine runs out and back, and it has top 10 rankings in height and speed, but it's all the way down at 19th in length, and it lands at 14th in pacing. You'd think the pacing number would be a little better considering how short the length is, but I guess not. Just enjoy that great airtime in the first half of the ride. We have a three-way tie for 13th place at 55 seconds. Excalibur at Funtown Splashtown USA, Silver Comet at Fantasy Island, and Megaphobia at Oakwood. These are all similar in height, ranging from 82 to 85 feet, but Excalibur somehow hitting 55 miles per hour to Silver Comet's 50, and Megaphobia's 48, ranging from 9th to 16th place. But Megaphobia is the longest of the three, ranking 11th, with Silver Comet's 13th, and Excalibur all the way down at 17th, 179 feet behind Megaphobia. All of these are in the bottom half of pacing, with Excalibur the best at 15th place, Silver Comet 17th, and Excalibur bringing up the rear at 20th place. So despite being the fastest and having the least amount of track, it's still last in pacing. Go figure. Tied for 11th place with 56 seconds is Tremors at Silverwood and the New Mexico Rattler at Cliffs Amusement Park. Tremors has 24 extra feet on its drop, 8th place versus 18th place, but only lists 3 extra miles per hour, ranking 13th and 19th. These are some of the longer Woodies on the list. Tremors edging out the Rattler by 358 feet, good for 8th and 12th, and also covers track at a pace more than 6 feet per second faster, ranking 10th and 16th. In 10th place at 58 seconds is Rampage at Alabama Adventure. This is one of the taller CCIs. It's 102-foot drop, ranking 6th, and it checks in 7th place in speed, length, and pacing, so its ride time seems to lag a little bit behind the rest of its stats, but otherwise, it's a ride that makes sense. In 9th place with 60 seconds is Great White at Maury's Piers. This slides right behind Rampage in height, having a 100-foot drop, good for 7th, but its 50-mile-per-hour speed is down at 13th. Its length is only 10th place, and that makes sense, but it's all the way down at 18th in pacing. If you look at those big sweeping turns high off the ground, that's a good reason why. I also don't consider the drop into the tunnel before the lift as prime ride time. Some of you might, but I think most of those pre-lift sections don't count. In 8th place with 65 seconds is Stampede at Port Aventura. This was the coaster that was built right next to Tomahawk, opening on the same day, with this dual-track CCI being the main draw. It's got 40 feet on Tomahawk, nearly doubling its height, good for 14th, but only musters up 16 more miles per hour, and that 46 mile per hour top speed is all the way down at 20th. It does have a decent track length, ranking 9th, but that length plus the slower speed means bad pacing, and you can see it's down at 19th place, right behind Great White, which also suffers in this category. Tied for 6th with 68 seconds is Boulder Dash at Lake Compounds and Legend at Holiday World. This pair of CCIs from 2000 are some of its bigger projects, with the first drop just 2 feet apart, Boulder Dash at 115 feet and Legend at 113 feet, ranking 3rd and 4th. They're also just 1 mile per hour apart, Boulder Dash tied for 2nd and Legend in 4th. Boulder Dash also has a 636-foot edge in length, again, 2nd place, with Legend ranking 5th. And those rankings hold true when it comes to pacing as well, with Boulder Dash covering 9 feet per second more than Legend as it winds its way down the mountain. So other than being identical in ride time, Boulder Dash is better than Legend in every way. But which one is actually better? I'd give Boulder Dash the slight edge. In 5th place with 75 seconds is Lost Coaster of Superstition Mountain at Indiana Beach. Here we go with the weirdness. This used to be a dark ride, and Indiana Beach asked CCI to turn it into a coaster. A weird request, but CCI was down for it, and it turned out to be one of their last projects. It's only 35 feet tall, ranking last. It hits a top speed of 20 miles per hour, also last. It's close to last in length, ranking 23rd, and has by far the worst pacing at 17.6 feet per second, about 8 feet per second worse than Zach Sumer. All that being said, the way this thing moves around with those tight turns and drops, it doesn't feel like a family ride at all. It's actually kind of insane. So that just brings me back to the moral of the story. Layout is everything. In 4th place with 76 seconds is Tonnerre de Zeus at Park Asterix. I don't know if I said that right, but it translates to Thunder of Zeus. And this checks in 9th place in height at 98 feet, 11th in speed, 6th in length, and 12th in pacing. This looks like a good mix of airtime hills and laterals, and it seems to take a lot of its elements high off the ground, and that doesn't help the pacing. But all of that doesn't really matter. Just look at the crazy eyes on that statue. Yikes. We have a 2-way tie for 2nd place with 80 seconds. The Boss at Six Flags St. Louis and Ghost Rider at Knott's Berry Farm. While Ghost Rider is one of the bigger Woodies in CCI's portfolio, it's got nothing on the Boss. The Boss tops the list in height and speed. Its 150-foot drop clearing the rest of the field by 28 feet, and its 66.3 miles per hour clears Boulder Dash and Zeus by more than 6 miles per hour. Ghost Rider is still respectable in these categories, 5th in height and 7th in speed, and although the Boss is not the top dog in length, It's still got 248 feet on Ghost Rider, as these come in at 3rd and 4th. Both coasters are in the same boat as Crazy Eye Zeus when it comes to pacing. They take their elements high off the ground, and that slows the train down. So Boss only ranks 9th, while Ghost Rider is right in the middle at 13th. In first place with 86 seconds is Shivering Timbers at Michigan's Adventure. This is the most impressive looking coaster on the list, with those huge camelbacks representing the out of the out and back layout. The slowdown over those hills usually hurts the pacing, but Shivering Timbers still comes in at 4th place, right there in between the two Woodies at Holiday World. It slots in behind the Boss for 2nd place in height, sporting a 122-foot drop, and surprisingly only ranks 6th in speed, but it does lead the pack in length, 459 feet better than Boulder Dash. That's a wrap on the coasters of CCI, by the numbers. They still have a lot of the best wooden coasters out there, and holding true to their name, Custom Coasters International. I don't believe anything here is a clone. CCI may have gone out of business 19 years ago, but their legacy lives on through the Gravity Group. That was formed by CCI's engineers after the company went under, and that explains why the parks that love CCI, Holiday World and Mount Olympus, got some of the first Gravity Group coasters, and those are some of the best wooden coasters out there. Let me know if anything here surprised you, or confirmed something you already knew. There wasn't a whole lot here that I wasn't expecting, other than the fact that Mount Olympus has some of the shortest coasters on the list, making up 3 of the bottom 4 spots. Also, let me know which CCI is your favorite in the comments below. For me, it's all about Ghost Rider, my 9th favorite overall, and the only other one in my top 100 is Boulder Dash, at number 83. I've been on 16 CCIs at the time of this recording, and I have plans to add a lot more this summer. By the time this video comes out, I hope to have picked up the Underground, Outlaw, Zack Zoomer, Rampage, Great White, and maybe Shivering Timbers, if they can fix it up after that whole, crashing incident. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like. That's the best way to show your support for the channel. And if you're new here, be sure to sub, and check out my playlist for other coasters and parks that I've looked at by the numbers, including GCI and the Gravity Group. Also, check out my links below for my Discord server, where you can chat with other fans of the channel, as well as my 2nd channel, where I post copyright-free off-ride footage. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.